Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody. In case-based learning week 2. In this video, we'll talk about CBL steps, teaching strategies for CBL and proposed model for CBL. The CBL steps. Step 1 is to determine learning outcomes, which could be correct diagnosis, redesign of a treatment, or development of a public health policy. While step 2 is to know your student. You should take into account the knowledge of your student from your course or skills gathered from other courses. The CBL assignment could draw on students' existing knowledge while challenging them to acquire new knowledge. Step 3 is to build the case, which could include ILOs, central scenarios, expectation for student activity, and deliverables or completion of the case. While step 4 is to group your student into small groups of 4 to 8 students, depending on class size. Some literature said the student number could be 30 students. Step 5 is the teacher rule, which is active rule already in case-based learning. While step 6 is the student rule. They should bring their own background, raise points and questions and defend their positions, formulate strategies to analyze the data and generate possible solutions. What is the teaching strategy for CBL? Step 1 teaching strategies in CBL is to formulate your case. You could use 4 types of cases in CBL. First type is finished case. It's used for analysis. Type 2 is unfinished open-ended cases. The results aren't yet clear in this type. Students are asked to predict. Type 3 is fictional cases. This case is not from real life. It's completely written by the instructor, but it should mimic reality. Type 4 is to use original documents in the form of articles, video. Students in this type have to compare between 2 documents in the same topic. This will arise the analysis and creation for the students. Step 2 is to manage a case assignment by designing discussion for small group, design the situation to reach a judgment, structure the discussion by using written questions, and end deployment of the discussion by comparing group response. Step 3 is to design case study questions in the form of what is the situation, what issues are at stake, what questions do you have, what are the possible options. Step 4 is managing discussion. You could delay the case solving to the end of the discussion. You could shift points of view, shift time frame by using what should have been done or is it too late to fix it. Shift to another context from person A to person B. At the end, point out and acknowledge difference in the discussion. There are 4 proposed models for CBL: case-centered, sequential case, multiple short cases, case combined with classic format. Model 1, which is case-centered. Step 1 in Model 1 is narrative presentation of the case for about 5 minutes. The next 5 minutes is the student reflection. And for 40 minutes, you could use guided discussion to formulate the diagnosis or management plan. At the end, case summary. Advantage of this model is to present clinical syndrome, to develop clinical reasoning and empathy with the patient. Model 2 is the sequential case. The first 2 steps is like Model 1, but step 3 is guided inquiry. By using what do you think, what to do next for about 15 minutes. You could repeat the first three steps for 25 minutes while the case is needed. At the end, case summary. Advantages of this model is to present clinical syndrome, develop decision making and clinical reasoning or empathy with patient. Model 3 is multiple short cases. In this model, you present a number of short cases which usually relies on spot diagnosis. You could repeat the steps for this model as the number of you have of cases, and the end summary of the cases. The advantage of this model is to develop decision-making clinical reasoning and to present several interrelated clinical syndromes. Model 4 is case combined with classic format. The difference in this model is step 3, which you could use classic literature which with repeated reference to the case. You could use this model when you introduce a new subject or explain pathophysiology of illness. What is the 11 basic rules for case-based learning? Is to tell a story, focus on a rousing issue, set it in the past 5 years. You could create empathy with the central character. You could include quotation from those characters. The case should be relevant to the reader and must have educational utility. You could arise conflict in this case, and you should force your student to take a decision. And the case has general applicability as short as possible. To summarize, case-based learning steps. First one is to establish the case. Case is analyzed by groups, brainstorming, formulate learning objectives, dissemination of new findings. The groups share their results and identify areas for improvement who could repeat the cycle. Thank you.